because as a defense, we know we're good enough.
Right.
But right now, our offense can't help us. And he got 2 forced fumbles, Ocho.
What you think gonna happen when I got Judy, huh? And Joku, and the rest of them boys at my disposal, as my weaponry. If I can do this with my 3s and 4s and 2s out here in a preseason game. All he's done all his life is win, huh? That's all he's done.
The NFL community is aflutter once more, and Shedeur Sanders is the main focus this time. Every fan forum, debate show, and sports desk is resounding with his name. Everyone is wondering if the Cleveland Browns should finally decide to sign him as their quarterback. After analyzing every possible scenario and considering Joe Flacco's performance on the field, Shannon Sharpe came to a definitive conclusion. Shedeur Sanders is the Browns' only remaining option. This is no longer merely conjecture. It seems like a demand for change and a call to action, and the pressure is mounting quickly.
All it is, from the draft process to getting drafted in the 5th round, to the owner coming out and saying what he said last week, to now. Man, come on with that bull jive, man.
I don't see how Kenny Pickett still remains number 2. He hadn't practiced since the 26th of July, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been dealing with a hamstring injury.
With a strong response that is already causing a stir in the league, Ocho isn't easing up at all. With unwavering conviction, he responded to detractors of Shedeur Sanders. Ocho made it abundantly evident that people who are interrogating Shedeur are not providing objective assessments. All they're doing is attempting to bring down a rising celebrity. Even went so far as to say that Shedeur is Cleveland's best QB option right now. He addressed the draft drama and recent rumblings within the Browns organization in his message, which went right to the core of the current controversy. He framed them all as conscious attempts to divert Shedeur's attention and manage the narrative being made about him. Ocho made it obvious he wasn't holding anything back by pushing even harder. He cited the Browns' choice to promote Dillon Gabriel, but he swiftly reminded everyone that Oregon is no longer in this situation. The NFL is a league full of mature men who are struggling to support their families, and they are not going to be kind to a rookie. Since everyone knows in their hearts who the Browns' true future quarterback is, Ocho claims that this move is just another attempt to discredit Shedeur Sanders. He believes that Shedeur Sanders is the obvious choice to be the franchise's leader, regardless of how much they attempt to change the conversation.
No disrespect to him, he's not the answer. Dillon Gabriel had success at Oregon when the lights come on, but it's a different ball game in the NFL with them grown men that got mouths to feed. Everyone should get an ample chance to win their starting position. We already know who quarterback one is going to be. We know who that's going to be. The depth chart doesn't mean anything. What they're trying to do is they're trying to break young bull. They're trying to break.
UU increased the ante even further by launching his most scathing invective against the Browns' front office and ownership. He openly questioned the decision makers, asking how long it would take them to realize who their real franchise quarterback is. His rage was evident when he brought up the team's ongoing instability, which has resulted in no long-term answer as quarterback after quarterback has come and gone. In order to emphasize his point, UU reminded supporters that Bernie Kosar, who played for Cleveland in the 1980s, was the team's last reliable signal caller. It was more than just nostalgia. It served as a painful reminder of decades of bad choices, unsuccessful assessments, and the failure to develop a reliable leader for the most crucial role on the field. UU continued to apply pressure, damaging the Browns' standing as a team. He said that it's difficult to believe that this team suddenly understands what it's doing after years of mistakes and unsuccessful quarterback trials. The Browns have often demonstrated that their issue is not only finding talent, but also properly nurturing and developing it. He emphasized how ironic the situation was. Shedeur Sanders is Cleveland's first emerging star, but when it comes to providing him the opportunity he deserves, they are taking their time. That hesitancy, in my opinion, speaks more to the franchise's antiquated methodology than it does to Shedeur's leadership skills.
Now, the last one that has been of decency has been Bernie Kosar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's in mid 80s though.
Mid who? Okay,
Mid-80s.
well, there you go. There you go. That's no disrespect to any of the quarterbacks that have played there, but it is what it is. We talk about consistency. Have we had one for a decade that we've been able to lean on
No.
and build around?
You had a couple of years. You got a couple of years of Baker, but outside of that,
Come
no.
on. No disrespect. Come on now.
The argument became even more heated when Shannon Sharpe got in and increased the ante. He didn't mince words when he asserted that the Browns never really selected Shedeur Sanders with the intention of using him as their starting quarterback. Shannon saw it less as a significant investment in constructing around a potential star, and more as a low-risk, safe decision. He emphasized that the organization's mindset, not Shedeur's abilities, is the issue. Although Shedeur has previously shown promise and flashes of brilliance, the Browns still view him as only a developmental backup. Rather than allowing him to demonstrate his leadership abilities right away, OO doubled down and used even stronger language to criticize the Browns' leadership. He put pressure on the front office to respond, asking them how long it would take them to identify their real franchise quarterback. The never-ending loop of unsuccessful experiments at the job with Cleveland caught in the same revolving door year after year fed his rage. He emphasized that the Browns haven't had a reliable quarterback since Bernie Kosar in the 1980s, in order to make his point. That illusion wasn't only sentimental, it was a harsh indictment of decades of poor scouting choices, poor management, and an inability to adequately cultivate long-term quarterback potential.
Around the last one that has been of decency has been Bernie Kosar, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's in mid 80s though.
Mid who? Okay,
Mid-80s.
well, there you go. There you go. That's no disrespect to any of the quarterbacks that have played there, but it is what it is. We talk about consistency. Have we had one for a decade that we've been able to lean on
No.
and build around?
You had a couple of years. You got a couple of years of Baker, but outside of that,
Come
no.
on. No disrespect. Come on now.
OO's refusal to compromise allowed him to further hone his critique of the Browns. He questioned how supporters should have faith in a team that has cycled between quarterbacks without success and made dubious decisions for years. He believes Cleveland has demonstrated that locating talent isn't the only issue. It has to do with their continuous inability to develop it after they get it. He emphasized how ironic the situation was. The Browns are dragging their feet when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, a player who could alter the team's destiny. OO maintained that this hesitancy tells much less about Shedeur's capacity to step up and deliver than it does about outmoded thinking and organizational shortcomings. Shannon Sharpe continued, intensifying the criticism. He maintained that the Browns had no genuine intention of using Shedeur Sanders as the franchise's cornerstone when they selected him. Rather, it appeared to be a careful risk, a calculated action devoid of genuine dedication. According to Shannon, the organization's mentality, rather than Shedeur's ability to succeed, is the true issue. The Browns still treat Shedeur like a side project instead of giving him a genuine opportunity to take the lead, despite the brilliant moments he has already shown. According to Shannon, this hesitancy betrays a lack of foresight and a refusal to accept Shedeur as the leader he can develop into. OO emphasized that Shedeur is putting the real arsenal, the Njokus, the Judys, and their best players on the team up against the Browns, demanding that they allow him to establish himself. Working in the background with second-string players is not how Shedeur wants to be judged. Alongside the team's real playmakers, he wants the opportunity to demonstrate his abilities. This is nothing unusual for Shedeur, according to OO. His entire career has been about competing head-to-head and earning his spot, and he is prepared to do it once more on the largest platform.
Happened when I got Judy, and Joku, and the rest of them boys at my disposal as my weaponry. If I can do this with my 3s and 4s and 2s out here in a preseason game, all he's done all his life is win, That's all he's done.
There is one indisputable fact at the center of this contentious discussion. Shedeur Sanders possesses the skills, motivation, and mindset to be more than Cleveland's backup option. Although OJ and Shannon Sharpe approach the problem differently, they both arrive at the same answer. The Browns are paying a price for their hesitancy.
After years of unpredictability at quarterback, the team has at last found a young, talented player who can alter its course. However, they are being held back by antiquated beliefs and traditions. Shedeur excels when given the opportunity to battle with the greatest, according to OEO's ferocious defense. Instead of being concealed behind scout team representatives, he wants to be tested with the best weaponry on the roster. By pointing out the Browns' lack of vision and emphasizing that Shedeur should be considered a serious contender for the starting position rather than merely a risk, Shannon strengthens the case. The Browns are facing a decision. Do they keep reciting the past while going over quarterbacks and justifications? Or do they make a decision, hand the keys to Shedeur Sanders, and then assemble around a quarterback who has already shown he is up to the task? How do you feel about all of this? Is the Browns' hesitation to start Shedeur Sanders a grave mistake, or are they justified in keeping him out of the starting lineup for the time being? Do you think that OEO and Shannon's critique of the organization is accurate, or do you have a different opinion? Above all, if you were in charge of the Browns front office, would you continue with the existing strategy or give Shedeur the reins immediately? Please share your opinions in the comments section below.